in Python, which is similar to the lambda function, is actually called a list comprehension. This generally is not covered in Introduction to Python, but it's used so often, I think you should know it. So look at the previous example. When we go over the list, we write a for loop and then assign it. So this is one way to, for every element in that map, you add to a new list. But in Python, apparently there's this shorthand called list comprehension. Instead of writing a for loop to generate a list, you can actually just put that for loop inside of the list. So in this example, the y is actually created a list. See that square bracket? That's a list. But what is this list? This list is for is the x. But what is x? X is for every x inside of that map function. So this is so-called list comprehension in Python. This actually can become really getting out of hand. I have seen code with the list comprehension of list comprehension. It become really so complicated. I can't even understand that's several lines of code. So I don't really recommend you write a nested list comprehension, but a single list comprehension seems to be reasonable to me. But I do. There are some people. I guess they are really Python expert. People write a nested list comprehension. That become a very confusing to read. At least from my perspective, when I try to read a comprehension, it become really complicated. It's hard to comprehend. So yeah. Kind of a joke, but apparently list comprehension is a shorthand in Python people use a lot. So if you really think about it, it really doesn't do something computationally unique. It's just a shorthand to write a multiple line of code into a one line. So but apparently this is something, I guess if you can write list comprehension, you can say you are a Python expert or proficient. Otherwise, you are still a beginner Python programmer. So yeah, that's just something I feel it's if you want to go to a job interview, you say I'm very good at the Python programming. You should know how to write a list comprehension. So that's almost like some kind of a test. If you know how to do Python, you should know how to do list comprehension.
So what is happening when you say x for x? Like, what does that mean?
Oh, here?
Yes.
You have to really, the way list comprehension says, if you just remove the x, that's just a for loop, for x in that. But what is we put in the list? We put the x in the list. That's the way I understand it. Right, so for this y, you can think it the other way. Say, I'm going to say, what is y? I'm going to put x into the list. Oops, sorry, y. Right, but what is x? X is in a for loop. So you can somehow understand this list comprehension like this way. So the second line is almost like this. Y is a list of x, but what is that x? That x will come from a for loop.
Okay, so it's like every iteration of that for loop gets saved into that list. That's what that means?
Yes, yeah. So in fact, we run that will be done. So instead of a map ABS, you can put integer. So and then it will be right. It will be floor. So you could in fact instead of integer, actually can write your own function to do this. So, this is actually not even in the textbook, but it's you. But if you, I'm sure if you go over the Stack Flow or many Python discussion forum, you will see this quite a lot. Apparently, when programmers meet, they often take pride in writing multiple lines into one line. So people who write a program often take pride in how a multiple line of code can be done in one line. So, so yeah. Okay, that's just something like a culture thing in software programming. So people like to put multiple line into one line. So apparently that's still that culture is still I would say popular. So yeah. Okay, but other than just putting multiple line into one line, it basically does the same thing like this multiple for loop. So, yeah. So in this case, basically change a 3 line into a 1 line code. Okay,